Apart from that circus in Rochdale, lots of
circus is putting it nicely.
But it was a circus. It's an absolute joke, an affront to British democracy. George Galloway has won on his anti-Semitic ticket. You know, this is a Jew hater, has gone in to Parliament to represent the people of Rochdale. And what did he say when he won?
Represent the people of Rochdale. He's the MP for Gaza.
Yeah, exactly. He goes, this is for Gaza, not for Rochdale then. Well, let's have a look at some of the shenanigans going on last night as the count came to an end. Well, let's take it away, George Galloway, with his victory for anti-Semitism speech.
Keir Starmer, this is for Gaza. You have paid and you will pay a high price for the role that you have played in enabling, encouraging and covering for the catastrophe presently going on in occupied Palestine in the Gaza Strip.
And here's his message to the big party leaders, Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer.
Labour is on notice that they have lost the confidence of millions of their voters who loyally and traditionally voted for them generation after generation. Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak are two cheeks of the same backside, and they both got well and truly spanked tonight here in Rochdale.
So this was an election, just to get your view on it, which is will be interesting.
Very depressed is what my view is.
Well, sure, but this was an election, you know, a British election that, as we've been worried about, was fought and won on a foreign war, 2005. Right. Who do you support, the Palestinians or the Israelis? This is ridiculous.
What I find quite harrowing is what he said in that second clip we played. He is making a speech saying how the tectonic plates of politics are moving. It's never going to be the same again. This is almost sort of repeating what has been said by organisations such as Muslim Vote. What we're seeing is the dawn of a very dark sectarian invasion into our politics. Never before in this country has our politics been split on the basis of religion. Never before have we had balkanised voting blocks based upon religion. Never before have we had that sort of division in our society. And this, I'm afraid to tell you, is going to be the very beginning of something that is not going to go away. Anyone who thinks that they can now win a vote by, well, there are accusations going on of ballot stuffing, postal vote fraud, intimidation, bullying. Whether or not those things occurred doesn't matter. Those people who want to be the tail wagging the dog now, who want to force an agenda based upon their religious ideology and foreign affairs that frankly have no bearing on this country, will now look at that result and say it can be done. And I'm afraid to say this is the beginning of the end of democracy as we know it.
Yeah, there are 30 more constituencies with prominent Muslim communities, and all those constituencies are going to go the same way as this. It's what side are you on, Palestine or Israel? That's what British constituencies will be fought on. That's ridiculous. And the Reform UK candidate, Simon Danczuk, who didn't do very well, he got 1,968 votes, 6.33% of the vote. You know, he said he received death threats, threats to firebomb his office up there. And as you say, Alex, last time the people of Rochdale, the good people of Rochdale, went to the polls, there were, I believe, 14,000 postal votes. Guess how many there were last night? 27,000.
27,000 postal votes. So I think we know what's going on here. The postal vote system needs to be scrapped.
Yeah.
It is not right that you can just say, I live here, a vote comes through the post, you sign a bit of paper, post it back, no checks, no balances. What we do know is that you have people, 8 people saying they all live at the same one-bedroom house address. You have ballot stuffing. I mean, postal votes are just open to industrial levels of fraud. We've seen this happen already. People have gone to prison for this happening. I'm not making this up. We know this has happened in other constituencies. Yeah. And the fact that when you look at these figures here right now, it is very clear what's gone on. There have also been allegations. I can't separate the wood from the trees. I don't know what's true, what isn't, what is is hyperbole and what has genuinely happened in this filthy, dirty, horrible, revolting by-election.
It really was. That's a good way of putting it.
Disgusting by-election. But there are sort of talks that this Azhar Ali, who is the one who made anti-Semitic comments that Labour booted out but still had Labour on the ballot paper, that people who were campaigning for him were going door to door and making the Muslim community swear on the Quran that they would vote for him. This needs to stop. You know, when people talk about a mob rule, when people talk about fears, genuine deep-seated fears, that there is a very vocal minority community out there pushing an agenda, and politicians say, you can't say that, you're an Islamophobe. Well, look, it's happening. And if something is not done about this, if this isn't addressed stridently, we risk losing the integrity of our democracy forever. And not just that, we risk ushering in violence, bullying, intimidation, coercion, corruption. We become a banana republic. This disgusts me. This whole by-election is disgusting.
It was. Well, I agree with you. And,
So
and what we're talking about, this whole nation is falling victim. We've caught this disease that we christened yesterday. Christened, could I call it that? We called it PDS, which is Palestine Derangement Syndrome. This whole nation, we saw yesterday this ridiculous little council in Chorley all chanting in Lancashire, a small town in Lancashire, free Palestine, let's pass a motion saying stop the genocide. What the hell does anyone care what you think? You're in Chorley. This is just ridiculous.
But this has been curated on an industrial scale, and this is what people are not talking about. The fact that those big marches, there'll be plenty of people on there just going for a jolly day out to coat themselves in moral virtue. But there are some hardened groups connected to terrorist organisations who are part of curating, choreographing and organising those marches. Similar with the things that are going on within communities, behind closed doors, in places of religious worship, in places that put themselves up as NGOs and charities and educational groups. There is something going on in this country and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed pronto, lest we lose our country.